Well, 6 more days. Could it be that the second set of stimulus checks from Congress finally come? There's a recent article that was published that said as soon as next week. This just depends, of course, on Congress. And how much do you expect now as an individual, as a family, if you're married? Well, that's going to depend on a few factors, whether it falls under the HEALS Act or the HEROES Act that gets passed, or if there's some bipartisan agreement that gets in between. I'll put basically a comparison of the two right now on the screen so you can take a minute and look at these just to see the differences of how much you would get as an individual jointly. But one thing's for certain, you can expect at least $1,200. Obviously, if you have a family, you're gonna get more. There's just a few different things to look at, and that is like dependents. The amounts vary between each act, between the HEALS Act and the HEROES Act. So why has it taken so long to get here? And will there be a third stimulus? Here's my opinion if I think there will be a third stimulus. Very unlikely. It's Congress we're talking about, and they most likely won't do any stimulus after this, but I would say that also depends on a lot of economic circumstances. The Federal Reserve is already printing out trillions of dollars every single day. Here's the current US debt now, it's nearing 27 trillion. Beginning of 2020, when I looked at the US debt, it was around 23 trillion. So we have added well over $3 trillion in 2020 so far. We're just setting all sorts of debt records this year. Here's the thing, are you gonna get your next stimulus check faster than your first one? The IRS claims that they're gonna send the payments out faster. However, let's be honest, it is the IRS we're talking about, and we saw how the first set, when it comes to giving people money, it's never timely. That's where I want your opinion. You can leave a comment below. Do you think the second set of stimulus checks are gonna come faster than the first set? Share your opinion. Do you think it's gonna be more efficient? Do you think because they have everyone's information on file already that they're just going to be able to print the checks out and just boom, database, send out the checks? So that's what I want to know from you guys. Will it be faster? Will you get your check? All right, so let's talk about this. Let's say if it was agreed upon this week, would it be possible, let's look, today is August 11th. Today is August 11th. Would it be possible for you to actually get the stimulus check by the end of the week? Well, very unlikely because of the timing and everything. Next week, is that possible? Next week would also be very on the more hopeful end. That'd be assuming that everything went smoothly. But realistically, you probably wouldn't be seeing the check until the end of this month. It's also very possible that it could even go into next month and then most likely be the beginning of next month. And you probably wouldn't see any more stimulus between that. So what should you do with your stimulus? I'm gonna give you guys a few tips as what I would do with my stimulus money. And obviously everyone's circumstances are different. So it really depends on you if you're getting a stimulus check, but I think it's a great opportunity to do a little bit investing, saving if you can, but let's be realistic. Who is saving the $1,200 stimulus check? That is going right back into bills, right into the economy, right back into probably your mortgage or other expenses that you just have to take care of. Nobody's able to save these checks. So do I think that by the government and the Federal Reserve printing all this money, is it gonna create hyperinflation? Probably not. We're just creating a lot of debt right now. We're not giving people enough money to create hyperinflation. The economy is still balanced, even though it's pretty screwed up. Obviously, if we were to continue just printing money every month for Americans like this, nobody would want to work. It just depends on how much we give into like unemployment benefits to the working class. I realize right now, there's a lot of people, they need the benefits just because of everything going on. But if they were to continue printing out this stimulus check, that's where you probably start to create inflation. That's my opinion only. What is your guys' opinion? Do you think that the Federal Reserve printing the amount of money, are they going to create inflation? We know they're creating more debt, but are they going to create a bubble that's so big that we're going to see another recession like we did in 2008? Well, I think that could really lead into a few different key factors here. There is a high unemployment rate. If people aren't able to get back into back into their jobs, getting the same pay as before, I think that could lead into a lot of people having to that would lead into a lot of people not being able to pay the mortgage and, of course, unfortunately losing their homes. Now, forbearance is available, but if that were to stop, there's just so many factors that go on, and those are things that you need to look into. Is if forbearance is no longer an option, or the mortgage relief that's been put in place under the CARES Act, if that expires, if that doesn't renew, those are all things that you need to look for. So back to the topic of the video. Let's count. Do we count on a stimulus check in the next 6 days? Is it something that you're going to see? Well, sources say yes, if they approve it. That's the key word, if Congress was to approve it. But even then, you don't probably want to count on the timeline that they give you, because there is most likely going to be delays and so many factors that you want to look out for. Now, you probably heard Trump pass an executive order to provide some relief. Obviously, he doesn't have the power without going through Congress to just send out checks or payments, even though I'm pretty sure he would if he could do that. But do you agree with what Trump has done so far during this whole response to the relief? Share your opinion below. Do you think he's taking the right steps, or do you think he is taking the wrong steps? Share your opinion. I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you agree with the Democrats? Do you agree with Congress? I think that this whole thing with Congress and them going back and forth trying to reach an agreement is only hurting you, the American person. I feel like the back and forth is only hurting you, the American people. And so I think that they just need to come to some type of bipartisan or some type of agreement where they can meet in the middle and handle things, get these payments sent out. It's looking like it's going to get approved. It's just a matter of when. And I think that right now, people need it. I mean, we're already into August, and the first stimulus payments were sent months ago. So I'm hoping that we do see something this week. I'm going to continue to post updates on this channel. So if you want to see updates about the stimulus check, any new information that comes in, and share your opinion, please subscribe to this channel, turn on the notifications bell, and leave a comment below sharing your opinion. And I'd like to hear from you.